Aubrey Miller lugged her heavy duffel bag through the ivy-covered Briggs gate and let it drop to the ground, stopped in her tracks by her first real-life glimpse of Carlisle College's world-famous quad. It was a gorgeous late summer day, and she twirled around 360 degrees, drinking in the sights and smells of the place. Green grass, old brick, towering trees. The promised land. Aubrey had been dreaming of this moment ever since she'd picked up a Carlisle brochure in her high school guidance office back in Las Vegas 3 years before. Now, against all the odds, after 3 years of non-stop studying and scheming, here she was. Carlisle was more beautiful than she'd dreamed. Pictures didn't capture the place. The sense of peace that flowed from the mellow brick, the cheery shouts of the students as they greeted each other. Everywhere she looked, she saw students with their families. The Carlisle student identifiable by the expensive backpack, the well-heeled dad toting cardboard boxes, the pretty mom with a designer handbag, the gaggle of younger siblings. Aubrey was here alone. Her financial aid didn't cover her mother flying across the country to the East Coast just for the frivolity of unpacking her clothes for her and tearing up when they hugged goodbye. She told herself that was just as well. Her mother, who'd dropped out of high school when she had Aubrey's sister at 17, would never fit in. She couldn't imagine a place like Carlisle, let alone know how to behave here. Aubrey settled the duffel bag back onto her shoulder and got her bearings from the campus map that she'd tucked in the back pocket of her jeans. Her dorm was called Whipple Hall, and it was located somewhere along this exquisite quadrangle. At one end of the quad was Founders Hall, with the famous statue of Elias Carlisle holding up the lantern of knowledge. Once she spotted the statue, Aubrey knew where she was, and within moments she was gazing in wonder at the graceful brick facade of Whipple, her new home. She couldn't believe she'd get to live here after spending her childhood in a succession of crappy apartments with leaky sinks and dank hallways. It was a miracle. The entry foyer was dim after the bright sunshine. Aubrey followed signs to registration and ended up in the dorm common room, where she handed her driver's license to the cheerful lady behind the desk. As the woman paged through boxes of envelopes, searching for Aubrey's registration materials, Aubrey took in her surroundings. Dark wood paneling, a fireplace with an elegant marble mantel, a sparkling brass chandelier. The common room furniture was cozy and well-used, the bookshelves full of old yearbooks and board games. She'd never been in a place with this much history in her life, not where she came from. Tons of famous people had graduated from Carlisle over the centuries. Scientists, writers, presidents even. She could visualize them lounging here in this very room, engaged in dazzling conversation. She imagined studying here herself on a cold winter night in front of a roaring fire, talking about ideas or just drinking cocoa with her roommates. Roommates. The thought of her roommates made Aubrey's stomach sink. At the beginning of the summer, the housing office sent her their names, addresses, and pictures, and invited her to get in touch. The purpose seemed to be to encourage cooperation about setting up the room, who'd bring the mini fridge, who'd bring the speakers, that sort of thing. Aubrey had nothing more to contribute than the clothes on her back, but she wrote anyway, because she longed to know these girls immediately. From the pictures and the limited biographical information provided in the mailing, Aubrey had spent hours daydreaming about them already. The blonde with the perfect turned-up little nose, who lived on Park Avenue and went to a fancy private boarding school, was a debutante, Aubrey imagined, who owned a horse and played tennis. The brunette with the glasses and gold cross necklace was quiet, studious, and religious. But maybe she was wrong, and anyway, she was dying to know more. So she wrote 2 long, chatty letters asking each roommate all about herself, about her family, her high school, her likes and dislikes, what she planned to study, anything Aubrey could think of, really. She'd mailed the letters 2 months ago now, and checked the mail every day for their replies. She'd never heard back. Not a word. Aubrey had been so focused for so long on getting into Carlisle, then on the financial aid, the plane ticket, and